Hi, this is Mark from Wiki Design. In this Elementor tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add a play and pause button like this for a video background. By default, Elementor doesn't have this option built in, so you will need to add a little bit of JavaScript to pull this off. So as you can see in this example, this is what we're going to be pulling off in this tutorial. You see this button right here says pause video. I want to have it where the user can pause the background video, and then they can resume it when they click play video again. So again, if you click it, it will change the name of the button to play, and then back to pause. The reason why I wanted to create this video is because I came across inside the Elementor GitHub this feature request right here for background video to include play pause button. So I knew how to do this already in JavaScript, so I figured why not just make a quick video and show you how I was able to pull this off. Before I continue, I'll let you know of a few limitations I found out when creating this functionality. This is only going to work if you upload your own self-hosted video. So if you upload your own MP4 file like this, it's going to work. This isn't going to work if you're using a YouTube or Vimeo as your background video right here. And the main reason for that is those two platforms are using iframes, and that's going to require a totally different JavaScript code to pull this off. It's actually a lot more complicated if you're using YouTube or Vimeo because they are always changing how their iframes can interact with JavaScript. So I personally recommend if you have a small MP4 file, use self-hosted, and this is going to make it a lot easier. And the other limitations I found is this is only going to work if you have one video background like this. So if you have multiple sections with video backgrounds, it's not going to work correctly. And I also came across another limitation that the button has to be on the same screen as your background video. So if you have your button buried way down here, like let's say down here in the footer area, it's not going to work correctly. It can work, but it's a little more buggy. So there are definitely some limitations with this, but anytime that you're working with JavaScript and video, you're going to run into some weird things like this. But I can confirm that this works correctly. If you got one MP4 and everything's on the screen, it's all going to work out perfectly. So let me just jump into the back end and show you how I have everything set up. Here we are on the back end of that page. So if I go into this section right here, under background, I have my video type as video, and as you can see, this is just a MP4 file right here. So it's this little animation going on right here, and that's the only settings I have in Elementor that you really have to worry about. The next thing we need to do is this button right here. As you can see, it's just an HTML widget. So if I make this a little bit wider, it would be easier to show. So if you just drop in an HTML widget, you can just copy and paste this code and it will work as is. So you don't have to touch anything else. And I will go through a little bit of this so you can better understand what's happening. So if you look right here, this class called video.elementor background video hosted, anytime that you have a self-hosted background section like this is always going to be the same class. So you don't have to worry about changing this. And then the only other thing that we need to change if you want to have a different ID is this right here called BG video. So as you can see, this is just JavaScript saying get element by ID, and then it's adding a listener. So basically JavaScript is listening for a click, and then it's going to run this function right here. So you can see it's going to pause the video and play the video. It's a if and else function. Really simple, lightweight code. This is what I like about this JavaScript is it's not going to add any bloat to your website really. So this is as simple as you can get. So you can even test it right here within the back end. You can see that it works correctly. You can pause and play. And if you want these buttons to say something else, this is where you're going to change the inner HTML. You can just change this to something else instead of pause video or play video. You can change that here. And right down here, we just have a button class is button. But this is what's really important is BG video. Like I said, if you change this ID, you want to make sure that you change it here, here, and here. And that's all you have to do to pull off that functionality with JavaScript. And now if you look on the front end of the page, you can see right here, if I pause it, play, everything works correctly. And if for some reason you aren't sure how you stylize your HTML buttons, it's all right underneath your site settings. So if you go underneath here, if you click this hamburger menu and go to your site settings, this is all built into Elementor. So if you have your buttons right here, this is where it's pulling in that styling. So anything you change here, it's going to change any of the default HTML buttons. So that's how you can change the styling. Now I'm going to show you how you can, instead of using this HTML button, I'm going to show you how you can just use an Elementor button and you can target that same ID. So if I go into here and just copy this ID of BG video, and I will blow out this button right here. So now you just have a little bit of JavaScript sitting right here. Now let me go ahead and just throw in an Elementor button. If I just type in button, I'll just throw it right underneath there. And all you have to do is just add in your button ID right here. Just paste in that BG video, and that's all you have to do. So when you click it, you're going to notice when on the front end, when you click it, it's going to change to play video or pause video. So if you want, you need to change where it says click here to like pause video. And then you can always center it. And so if we hit update, you're going to notice on the front end, this is going to work just the same way. So if we go back here, see where it says pause video, play, pause and play. So I wanted to show you that you can also use an Elementor button to pull this off. And it's the same thing. You're going to want to make sure that this button is within the same viewport as your video, because I believe if you bury this button down at the bottom of your page or something, it's not going to work correctly. And that's it for this Elementor tutorial. Make sure that you give it a like, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and hit that bell to receive notifications when I release new tutorials like this. Again, this is Mark from Wiki Design.